Right. So we are now live, I believe. Just going to double check how we're doing. So hi, everyone. Hi, influential leaders and executives. This is Melissa, your host. For those who don't know, we go live every Tuesday, just around 2 p.m. Eastern or 3 o'clock Atlantic, depending on which time zone you're in. The reason why we do these Facebook live streams is we gather professionals such as myself, experts, and other leaders to explore leadership challenges and to see how we can together be stronger and redefine what it means to be a strong leader, a leader who has impact, influence, and who does it in a very ethical way. So for those who don't know me, my name's Melissa. I'm a management consultant. I'm an executive coach. And what I do is I work with leaders who are building high-performing teams. So I work with the leaders one-on-one. I help build up their skills. And I really look at the people side of business. And when I'm fortunate, I also get to work with their team. So I get to walk in and work with their team as they're building up their capacity to deliver on important strategic goals. So today I have Zina joining me, a very fun client that I've gotten to work with. Zina is the owner of Surreal Design Studio, and she has big dreams, a big vision, and she's been working on building up her team towards that vision. So Zina, I would love today to kind of explore your journey in going from a one man band, doing all the things and feeling that frustration of wanting to grow, and through your journey of building up your team. So you are still on the journey, but you have come a long way. And I'd love to explore that for anyone who is building up a team. There's lots of nuggets that you're going to hear today of things that you could be implementing, of things that you could be using. So Zina, what should we know about you? You have won a pretty cool business. Before we dive into the nitty-gritty, who are you and what do you do?
Okay, so first of all, thank you for this opportunity today to present this unique experience, I guess, to all leaders, entrepreneurs, or any professionals watching us today. So my name is Zina Aljaratli. I'm a graphic designer. I've been in this business for a while now. I'm not going to say how long. It's quite a time. And I've been here as an entrepreneur in Canada for 4 years. So I was fortunate to have the problem of growth, actually. I started as a sole proprietorship with few clients. I was able to manage definitely with my own skills in the field, which is something I truly love. I was able to communicate directly with each and every client, manage every small detail, okay, from onboarding the client to closing project, getting feedback and whatnot. And with a lot of, I would say, networking, communication, I ended up having projects that I love to work on, but I can't actually manage alone until I faced really real tiredness, fatigue, and I faced hardship to manage all that. And I realized, okay, this is the time that I need other professionals to support me. And the tricky part was to know how.
Yeah. So the great problem of having so much demand and not enough capacity to deliver.
Exactly.
So it's very promising, and yet it is very tiring.
Yes, and it could be a deal breaker for some businesses, actually. Just the same as lack of business, having so much business that you cannot handle is another really risky situation.
Yeah. And I remember when we first started talking, you were concerned about growing a business, of building a team.
Yeah.
What were your concerns at that time?
My concerns come in so many angles, I would say. being in business alone is one thing, and having a team is totally different thing. So the challenge goes from really knowing which gaps in the process of this business to cover by teams, and which parts to stay covered by me, which tasks to delegate, what roles do I need to be filled? Because we wear multiple hats as entrepreneurs. We do it all to a certain point, but then we need experts. Even choosing the right character for the right role, the right expertise level, because you don't need certain expertise for each role, I would say, depending on the business situation and the stage of growth. So we started by navigating which roles to fill, what to delegate, and then looking for the right personality, right expertise, and it goes into the even workflow, communication, and financial. If you remember, like, it's all the details together. It's looking at everything at the same time.
So the big picture was scary, finding the right talent, making sure you had the resources to pay that talent. And I remember, hopefully you don't mind me putting you on the spot, but I remember even a little bit of concern around micromanaging and not wanting to micromanage, but then not knowing, what is going to be enough and how can I get people that can take care of themselves.
True.
Like getting the right talent, but they need to be able to take care of themselves because I don't have the capacity.
Yes. If I need to micromanage, technically I would have the same load of work. So it's not the goal eventually. Definitely, even the team members will feel frustrated if we micromanage them. At least my cool team would feel that because they know what to do actually.
Yeah. And there's something very interesting about micromanaging. And I was just actually in a consultation earlier today, and that came up about how micromanaging affects the relationship from employer to employee, and it affects the employee's relationship with themselves and with their work, because it actually creates distrust.
Yep.
And us as leaders who have potentially been micromanaged at some point in our careers, we have some trust issues around micromanaging.
Definitely. We worked on, as I recall, and I would never forget, the styles of trust. And navigating through that is really a huge factor in success. At the same time, when team members are micromanaged, there is no room for innovation or growth. So it's really important to build that trust relationship, build that open communication channel, but yet not to micromanage people, because if they're the right people at the right place, they will definitely grow and innovate and create new solutions we haven't even thought about. And this is the win there, that this is where you feel like, as an entrepreneur, there are other people not only working with me, but thinking with me. They know the bigger picture. I can communicate the goal in a way that doesn't overwhelm them. And then we can go together on that journey.
Well, that's really interesting. So I think you're highlighting trust is really important here.
Yes.
But you're also highlighting this idea of working with people and thinking with people. Sure. And I've never heard it quite framed like that, but I think it's really important to take a moment to highlight this, because the more you can help people think alike, think like you, make decisions like you, have your way of looking at problems, the easier it's going to be to delegate.
Sure.
When we share the same, and I'm not talking about groupthink. We don't want to not have the different perspectives, but we need enough of the same mind, the same frame of mind, the same frameworks in our mind. In order to be processing the information in the same way with some of the same lenses.
Definitely. It starts with sharing the information in general, data, information, files, this little details, and it goes to sharing the vision, the goals, And then I would say not sharing problems, I would say obstacles or challenges, and then working through those together, each with their unique perspective, I would say, depending on their expertise. So we can see the same thing from different perspective based on what we're targeting. So lack of sales would be targeted differently from the accounting people to the sales people to the marketing people and whatnot. So it's really great to have different perspective for the same thing and achieving the same goal.
Right, right. And now I'm hearing collaboration.
Oh, yes.
Collaboration, super, super important. And you can't have collaboration if you don't have trust. So those two things go hand in hand. Trust comes before collaboration.
Yes.
And collaboration is really interesting because we think of collaboration, we think of the word collaboration, we imagine cooperation.
Yeah.
But it's two different things. And collaboration requires a lot of knowing yourself, navigating yourself, and including others. It requires you dropping your I know it all, or I've been doing this for a long time, I'm the expert, to let other people be the experts.
I agree.
And to look at everything, and it's not going to be my way or your way, it's going to be our way. It's going to be something that we co-create together. And that is something that's not easy.
No. And also there must be a room for tolerance, I would say, even for mistakes and failures. Because if you think of an idea that didn't work, it's actually a lesson learned. And even an idea that was implemented that didn't work, that definitely gave a lot of value and lessons and knowledge for everyone on the team. So looking at the wins and having room for tolerance, for experimenting, I think is a huge win in general for everyone.
Yeah. And that's also interesting because when we fail, it can cause distrust. If I gave you something, we used your idea, and now your idea has failed, I might start, my trust in you might be going down, or my trust in your ideas might be going down, and your trust in yourself is going down. Yep. So that is something to pay attention to.
Exactly. But if we learn from that experience, if we build on it, if we tweak it, fix it, and move on, I think that emphasizes that trust, that grows that trust in a way.
So Zina, I want to pull this all back just a little bit. I'm loving what we're talking about, but I want to go back to the beginning of your journey for a moment. Zina likes to move very fast.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday, yes, exactly. So when you started, you had these concerns. You even questioned working with me.
Yeah.
So what was important there in deciding to move forward with this, and deciding that, hey, I'm here, I have more demand than I have capacity. I want a team, but I have these concerns. I don't know if I could find someone who's going to have the right talent that won't be needing to micromanage. You were questioning a lot of this. So what was the tipping point for you? What was the thing that helped you say, yes, let's do this?
I think that the main barrier is the fact that as entrepreneurs and as people in business, we need to admit that we don't know what we don't know. Okay. So being in that situation and meeting you, talking to you, and I would say I had a lot of questions, but I couldn't frame them. I couldn't phrase them. So what you offered, what you put on the table made so much sense, but I didn't know if it was for me. I didn't have the right questions. 2 discussions on the road, or maybe 1, I realized, yes, she can pinpoint what I need. She can help me find the true source of my worries, of my fears, why I'm not able to make that decision. So I think it's like working with you, and to any entrepreneur working with a leadership and business coach, it's really a highlight in our journey, because yes, we're we're good at what we do, in our profession, but leading a business, leading people, working with people is a totally different game. And I have been reading something, and I would like to quote, I'll read it, it's in front of me. It's like, it talks about entrepreneurs, and it says, an entrepreneur gets things done and loves to be competitive in the process. A true entrepreneur is not predictable, one that possesses a certain creativity level that allows oneself to see and produce ahead of the curve. However, without strong people skills, an entrepreneur cannot succeed alone.
Mm-hmm.
It sums it all. So learning to look into oneself, identify emotions. I thought emotions don't go into the workplace. Oh yes, they do. Every decision we make is based on emotions. So identifying those emotions, asking the right questions to oneself, determining values, what are the clear goals that I'm working towards, that helped me identify issues, find questions, and afterwards find answers. With all that being said, being stuck in the loop without knowing all that takes a lot of energy, and it's wasted in the wrong place. So energy determines how we spend our time. So when I was able to pinpoint my issues, work towards solutions, I have much more energy left to do the work that I love, to have the life that I love. It's a game changer, I guess, for entrepreneurs, and it must be at the right time too. So I think being courageous, taking the step, and making the leap is really worth it.
Awesome. And it sounds like, I really like how you highlighted that, having those people skills makes the difference, because there's only so far we can go alone. And your sheer willpower, your grit doesn't inspire others the way that you think it does. That's not the thing that will get you through the marathon and really achieving those big goals. You need other people, and working through other people requires a specific set of skills.
True.
And I love in the work that I do is I get to measure these skills. I get to, and Zina, we were able to do that for you, is measure where you started. Yes. And pinpoint exactly what is going on. Where are you doing really good? Where are you maybe overusing? What are you underusing? What do you need to build up? Where are those areas of opportunities? And that created a map.
Yes.
And what you don't, I wish I had it on my screen to screen share, but I wouldn't, not to break confidentiality. But what we do is afterwards, 6 months later, is we remeasure. And we see the before and after, and we see the changes. Yes. And when I do that, I'm able to see exactly what we did had this impact on the skills and on the outcomes. So you get the lived sense of the wins and how your relationships are changing and how your team is changing and how you're able to accomplish more and you have more energy. So these are all lived wins, but then we get to measure and see it in black and white on paper. How was that experience for you, Zina?
I would say life-changing, and I told you that before. Few things that we worked on, and I would mention one of them specifically, which is consequential thinking. I have a lot of enthusiasm to ideas, and I put all my energy in. And I think sometimes I needed to think more. Okay, let me put it that way. Working through this process and having this embedded knowledge helped me with making decisions quickly, surely, and on solid ground. It's not just trying to navigate between my feelings and my rational thinking. It's actually asking the right questions to myself, and then making sure that that decision that I make, at least to what I know at the time, is the best that I can do. It helped me move faster with so many things. It helped me move with confidence, lead with confidence, face obstacles differently, totally differently. My eyes at the end goal, and I know that this is something I'm gonna deal with, I'm gonna overcome with my team that is like great, supporting me, and we're gonna move on. So I think it's a total game changer, especially for the decision-making part, for the consequential thinking. It's been life-saving.
I remember you said, I think this was our second meeting, but before we worked together.
Okay.
You said, I need someone to be my sober second thought. I need someone to help me make decisions. And I think what I was really proud of is through this journey at the end, you were that person for yourself. You had developed those thinking skills, those executive skills that allowed you to be that person for yourself.
Yes.
So there was no relying on me as a consultant. You had built up the skill set. And that is the real win for me as a coach.
True. This is what I loved. I was always able to move through my visions, my plans, my questions within my own, I would say, pace, mindset, values. It was really about the business, about this team, about this entrepreneur vision, which I highly value. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of wins that you've been sharing with us. I'm curious if you were to give a piece of advice based on, because you've been through it, right? You started on one side, you went through the process, or getting a sense of the experience, and now you're not completely on the other side, but you're on your way there.
Yeah.
What piece of advice or what piece of wisdom could you impart to someone who is going through the process?
I would say, okay, that's a good one.
So, and let me define this a little bit more. What advice would you give in someone who is currently building up a team?
Okay, I don't see myself as someone that can give advices, but I would say from my own experience, when you think about something, try to do it and achieve it. Ask for professional helps, learn from mistakes, and just have this grit, face the things that makes you afraid, but in a smart professional way. Don't just throw yourself in the fire.
Don't throw yourself in the fire. That's what Zina would have wanted to do in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And it's what's interesting about your journey is you were really excited. You were focusing on a specific goal, and you were on the fast track.
Yes.
Let's get it done yesterday. So what has changed through the journey? You have found things and you have gotten things that you were not expecting.
Yeah.
What changed?
What changed? First of all, my goal haven't changed, which is amazing. It's how to achieve this goal. I would say we added maybe a phase 1 and 2 to it, but I went ahead and experimented, as you know. And the fun thing that we entrepreneurs face when we go and speak about ideas to people, when we face that approval, right? People are excited to our idea. It sounds great. But what other people around us don't see is what's going on inside that business that might be jeopardizing that success. This is where working on the team, on the workflow, on the process, looking closely really manages that risk, navigating and exploring options through the way, which what I did as, I looked into everything and I faced a lot of obstacles. It turned out that those obstacles are really tied closely to those things that have been going on internally. So I realized it's not the market problem, it's not the buyer's problem, it's not the city's problem or the environment or the global financial situation. No, it's just fixing what's within that business and moving forward. That what will grant our success, that will help us eliminate as much as possible of the risk.
And I want to highlight one of your successes. So as much as it's great to build up a high performing team, right? It's fun to think of like all the things that they're going to be able to do, accomplish. I'm going to be able to trust them to do the work well, and to do the work reliably and sustainably, right? This is when we talk about a high performing team, these are the things that we get excited about. But there is also a personal win. You also get something personally from that investment in building up that, more than just business, more than just profits. And Zina, last week you took a vacation.
Yeah, I was gonna say that actually.
And how was it different? I think this is the important part. How was it different?
It's the best vacation ever, even though I didn't do the things that are crazy, okay? But I didn't have to worry about work. Woo! My team was doing it. They nailed it. They did great. Today is my first day back to work. Also, I just had a quick, stand-up meeting somehow, and
things are rolling. And that's fantastic, because in the past, if you went on vacation, the whole business stopped.
And it wasn't really a vacation. I had to work eventually, You can't leave your clients hanging, or even if you tell everyone, hey, I'm on vacation, you got prepared, super professional communication, but still you have to be there. So not having to is really great.
That was so exciting for me to hear that last week, that you were on vacation. She sent me a message. So this is the thing, when you work with me, there's constant communication. So celebrate it together, good vacation. And I will see you on Thursday for our regular session. So I get to work with Zina and her team. So we'll figure out those details. But if you want to know how to work with me, if you're interested in what you just heard, and you are building up your team, and you are looking to get the right people, talent selection is a big deal. Using the right assessments, knowing how to structure your interview, asking the right question to get the right information to make that decision. Far too often we hire and then we are left with not great fits, right? So there are things that you can do in that talent selection process to make things a lot easier for yourself than the onboarding process, as well as integrating the person within your team. These are important things. So just reach out. If you want to know what Zina did and you want me to help you do that, reach out to me via DM and I'd be happy to give you a consultation. Consultation is a risk-free, no obligation call with me. You get to tell me a little bit about what you're wanting to do. I'll give you feedback. And then if this is something you want to explore further, then I would be happy to do that with you. Now, for those who are interested in this trust aspect, I have an exciting opportunity starting mid-month, and currently I'm taking calls and people are grabbing their seats. I'm launching a special edition of my program, my signature program, the Executive Accelerator. So Zina is going through it on a one-on-one basis, but this special edition will be a blend of group and one-on-one, and it will focus and have a big focus on the pillar of trust training. So if you were part of the workshop last week, you heard of Yvette Bethel, who is a leading trust expert, and we've been working together to integrate her signature program into mine. So we're starting, it's next mid-September. I'm like trying to think of where we are because I'm also just coming back from vacation. And if you are curious, let me know and we can talk about that. Because trust predicts 62% of all business outcomes. It is a critical factor that influences how you communicate, your ability to work together, your ability to collaborate, and your ability to trust, to get to a place, to trust your team to get the work done. So thank you, Zina, for joining me. Any last words before we head off?
Thank you. And I'm looking forward to add more team members and add more services because now I can. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
Every entrepreneur have such a successful experience with team building. It's really crucial.
And what I'm hoping that you get from this, it is possible to find the right talent, and it is possible to build up, integrate your team members. These are new people on the team. Okay, yeah. This is a brand new team that Zina can trust. She went on vacation and things continued without her. She's walking in and there is progress. Clients are happy. Okay, this is possible. You don't need to have people working for you 15 years before you trust them, before this happens. This can happen now when you do it right. So thank you so much, Zina. You are always full of optimism, and I'm hoping that the listeners today are walking away with some of that optimism and maybe questioning what they could be doing differently if they don't have what you have, because it is possible.
It is, yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Melissa.
Thank you.